welcome to Life in Envelopes. I am Jennifer Bleecher. On this channel, I am trying to break down the very complicated process of budgeting. I am trying to make it more accessible and more fun for everyone by sharing my own personal budget and budgeting struggles. We are currently a low-income budgeting family. We're doing a week-to-week budget. And our main goal this year is to work on paying off debt. Our goal is to one day be completely debt-free. That's the dream. So if this is something that you are interested in, I hope you will consider subscribing to my channel. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. That really helps me out. In today's video, we're going to close out the month of December, and we're going to be taking a closer look at that dashboard page. So we're going to be doing a debt update. We're going to be comparing my income from last month to this month. I do have variable income. We're going to break down my budget categories, and we're going to see what % of my income I spent on each budget category. Tomorrow, I'm going to be setting up my budget for January, so I hope you will come back tomorrow and join us for that. I did want to give you one quick note. So we are switching. Last year we were really focusing on savings, and we've accomplished a couple of those savings goals. So now we're working on paying off debt. And last week was the first week where I was kind of incorporating paying off this Visa debt. And you guys had a lot of great suggestions. So I am going to be incorporating a lot of those suggestions in today's video and tomorrow's video. So yeah, let's just go ahead and jump right in. So the planner I'm using this year for my budget is an 8.5 by 11 monthly planner from ERIN CONDREN. It's called the monthly planner. I will insert a picture of where to find this planner on her website. Okay, so let's start by taking a look at where we spent our money this week. Okay, starting with bills. I actually ran out of these stickers. I buy these stickers from Cara Jo Plans, so I need to put in another order with her. So one of them I'm going to just have to write down. But we paid our garbage bill. We put $5 aside every week for that in a cash envelope. It's actually not due it's due every 3 months. So we just save up and then we pay it as soon as we're ready. Alliant Energy, we set aside $10 a week for that, and then we pay that once a month. That is like the gas for our house. And then State Farm came out this week, and that was $125. We also paid our city bill. We pay our city for water and power, and we paid them $274. Since I'm out of stickers, I'm just going to write this down. Okay, moving on to debt. So we did make a payment to loan number 2, and that actually came out on January 2nd. So the week that we're budgeting for right now started on December 9th, and it ended on, let's see, January 4th. So our weeks are a little odd based on when we get paid. So we paid $142 towards loan number 2 on the 2nd. Loan number 2 is a debt consolidation loan that we pay them weekly, and by paying them weekly, we're going to be paying off our debt faster versus paying them on a monthly basis. We also made a payment to Visa, which is a new debt that we've been working on, and we were able to pay $157 to Visa last week. Next up is food, and we spent $200 on food this week. Next is gas. We spent $20 on gas. Miscellaneous. So we ended up spending $10 on miscellaneous expenses this week. Spending money. We spent $50 in spending money. So our spending money, I get $20, my husband David gets $20, and then my son Logan gets $10. So that's how we do the spending money. So savings, we didn't do any savings this week because we've switched our focus. We have, looking back here at the notes section, We have accomplished saving $1,000 like cushion for our checking account. We have $1,000 emergency fund in our savings account. So now what we're focusing on is paying off this debt as quickly as possible. So we're going to be skipping savings for a little while. Sinking funds, we spent $123 last week on sinking funds. Okay, so that was it for this week's expenses. Let's go ahead and take a look at the budget worksheets. Starting with our monthly budget. So we are week-to-week budgeters because I am paid on a weekly basis, but my husband David, he is paid once a month. So we use his paycheck to cover most of our bills and debts. It doesn't quite cover all the bills and debts, so some of them I help out with my week-to-week check, but most of them are covered by his. So the ones that came out this week were State Farm for $125 and Ames for $274. So let's calculate how this all worked out. So David was paid $21.28. The nice thing about David's paycheck is that it's fixed, so we can always count on it being exactly that much. With my variable income, sometimes we don't make as much as we want to make, and that can make things tough. So let's see how much we spent all together on these. So we spent $21.01. So we actually had some money left over, $21.28 minus $21.01. And what I'm going to do, it's a difference of $27. What I'm going to do is I'm going to leave that in my account as just to add it to our checking cushion. So we're just going to leave that $27 in the account. We did well on our monthly budget. Let's go to the weekly budget now and see how we did on that this week. So I do have my expense tracker here on this side, but I am going to zoom into the budget so you can see it. I'm going to leave this open so I can see my expenses if I need to remember how much I spent in a certain area, but I'm going to zoom in on this for you. So last week I made $600 through my business. I bring in income from multiple sources. Most of it comes from Etsy and YouTube. And then we also received $117 in Buy Me a Coffee donations. Buy Me a Coffee is just a tipping website. My viewers asked me to add that in the description box of the videos, which I've done. And every week anytime we receive some, I'm just always shocked and so grateful. So thank you to everybody who donated last week. Altogether, we had $717 to work with. So the first thing we did last week is we set up our sinking funds. We put $3 towards Amazon, $7 towards back to school, $10 towards birthdays, $10 towards car maintenance, $5 towards car registration, $25 towards Christmas, $3 towards our Sam's Club membership, $50 towards vacation, and $10 towards vet. So altogether that came to $123. So $717 minus $123 is $594. Okay, moving up here to our fixed expenses. So these are the expenses, the bills that David's check is not able to cover, so we cover them with my paycheck. First off, we covered load number 2 with my paycheck, so that was $142. We covered garbage, which was $5, and Alliant Energy, which was $10. So altogether, we spent $157 on those expenses. So that brought our new total down to $437. Okay, moving down to our variable expenses. So we ended up spending $200 on food, $20 towards gas. Miscellaneous, we only spent $10 in miscellaneous, and then the other $40 went to paying off Visa. So we had the $117 plus $40, that would be $157. We do a savings, well, we do a little game, and that's how we come up with how much stays in. That's how we decide how much will stay in miscellaneous and how much will go towards our current goal, which is paying off that Visa bill. And then spending money was exactly 50. So let's see how much we had altogether for variable expenses. We spent $280 on variable expenses. So 437 minus 280. That left us with the 157 that we put towards our Visa card. So altogether, we spent 157 in this category here, bringing our budget down to 0. So that is my goal. At the end of each week, I want to zero out my budget, which simply means I have a place for my money. That can be a rollover amount or can be savings. Sometimes we do that, but that's the goal, is to end with 0 at the end of each week. Okay, so now that we have finished the month, let's go back and fill out the dashboard page. This has been a really crazy month because, just in case you're new, I have talked about this a lot, but my youngest son, Logan, was in the hospital for a while, and we ended up spending a lot of money on food and other expenses that we normally wouldn't have spent. We spent a lot of our own personal money, and then we actually ended up having to open up a credit card to pay for some other things. We had to get the house ready to bring him home from the hospital. There was just so much going on. So we ended up adding $4,163 to our debt. So now our starting amount is $76,719. So this, at the beginning of the month, we started with $40,170. At the end of the month, we still owed $43,034. And I wrote all the information down on a sticky note so that I can refer back to this if I need to. But we have, these are the debts that we have. So for loan number 2, we still owe $19,538. For Visa, we still owe $29.86. For SUV, we still owe $4,924. And for student loan, we still owe $15,586. So altogether, we owe $43,034. Okay, so let's compare where we were at the beginning of the month and where we were at the end. We actually increased by, let's see, $28.64. We were able to make some very nice payments this month. A lot of that was from donations through Buy Me a Coffee, but in the end we were still up in debt by $2,864. So our grand total, we started with $76,719. We currently owe $43,034. So let's see where we are for our grand total. This is where we were at the beginning of our debt freedom journey and where we are now. So we've paid off a total of $33,685, which is still very exciting. Even though it was sad that we had to add some more debt this month, it's still very exciting to see how much we have paid off since we started. Okay, so let's look at income for this week. So we had a starting balance of 0, and we have variable income. So this month we had huge variations in income. We ended up bringing home $8,334. So one of the biggest reasons there was on week 4, we received a lot of donations through Buy Me a Coffee. We received $2,425 through Buy Me a Coffee. So that was like the biggest area where we had a variation this month. But we also ended up paying ourselves a little more. I try to pay myself $600 a week, but a couple weeks here I paid myself more to cover those additional food costs that we had from that hospital stay. So this was quite a big difference this month. So our income total was $8,334. So as you can see, it is a big difference this month compared to last month. Okay, so let's take a look at each budget category, starting with bills. So we spent a total of $728 on bills this month. So to calculate the percent of income, I'm going to take I'm going to take the amount I spent, so $728, and I'm going to divide that by my total income. And then I'm going to multiply that times 100, and that will give me a percentage. So 728 divided by 8334 times 100. So I spent, and I always round up, so 9% of my income went towards paying bills. Let me go ahead and calculate the rest, and then we'll come back and go over all the numbers. Okay, so let's take a look at the remaining categories. 40% of our income went to debt this month. 19% went to food, which I know is a huge amount. This was a very unusual month for us. 1% went to gas, 5% went to miscellaneous, 3% went to spending, 17% went to savings, and 6% went to our sinking funds, which is also a form of savings. So there we are for all of our updated numbers for December, and we are done. We are done with December, and it's time to set up January. So if you want to see what that's going to look like, make sure you come back tomorrow. When we get that all set up, we'll also stuff all of our cash envelopes tomorrow as well. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed today's video, will you please give it a thumbs up? And I will see you all again next time. Bye, everyone.